Okay. Y'all scared now, ain't you? Scared, they're scared. Well, look here. It says in the 19th century, many scientists subscribe to the belief that the human population can be divided into races. This is the 19th century. The term, i.e., subscribing to the belief that the human population can be classified according to race. The origin of the root word race is not clear. So linguistics, linguists, okay, those word people, all right, generally agree that it came from the English language from Middle French, but there is no such agreement on how it came into Latin-based languages. Generally, a recent proposal is that it derived from an Arabic, ra, which means head, beginning, origin, or the Hebrew rosh, which has a similar meaning. Early race theorists generally held that some races were inferior to others and that different treatment of races was consequently justified. And these early theories guided pseudo-scientific research assumptions. The collective endeavors to adequately define and form hypotheses about racial differences are generally termed scientific racism. So I think, I'm going to continue to agree with him that I think the world was made up for this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't divide people into race if we are one race. You can't. But you can't just blatantly say that and think you're going to solve all of our problems.
Right.
Because we're using that word incorrectly. So that's why I agree more so with the words discrimination or prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I was very ignorant to those facts because racism was something very real to me, or a racist was real to me, that I understood that. But now when you put it in, or just explaining that, and after hearing that changes my perspective of the word.
Sure.
Because if it is just to classify us in a hierarchy, so to speak, then I'm not here for it.
Yeah. That's a good point. Well, 7 things everyone should understand about interracial relationships, okay? Y'all
Okay,
ready
let's
for
go
this?
with that. Let's go with that.
Because this should be interesting, all right? And y'all tell me if you agree or not, and let's see who's going to fight. All right. Well, the header says here, nearly 50 years after Richard and Mildred Loving, remember the movie Loving that came out last year about the white man and the black woman back in the
it was set back in the day, but it
Yes.
recently came out. Yep.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. It was based off a real true story. Loving, Richard and Mildred Loving took on America's miscegeneration laws. Okay, partners or different racial backgrounds no longer need to hide their relationship to fear or for fear of legal persecution, and that's something that was actually law back then.
Yeah.
But while things have changed socially, there's still a lot missing from the conversation surrounding interracial relationships. All right, y'all go look at the movie Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Great, I could watch that every night. Just an amazing banter.
Is that the same as like the movie with Bernie Mac, the Guess Who movie?
Oh, I don't think I saw that one.
Well,
Maybe
it's similar to that. They're all around that circle.
Okay.
That is
It's
my
more
favorite
of
one. Out of them.
Yeah, lightly based.
Mhm.
Okay, that clip I sent y'all where the white woman says the nigger.
Yeah.
That's from the movie.
Only problem is he's a Negro.
Yeah, she's a Negro. Yes, great movie. You gotta watch that. And the fact that it came out when it did, and the way they presented racism was absolutely amazing and clever. The country has a long way to go in terms of racial discourse. Period. Saying. In the case of interracial dating, there are still huge stereotypes, misconceptions, presumptions about what it means to date someone with a different race. As a black woman dating a non-black and non-white man, I've become more and more aware of the way in which these stereotypes still dictate the way we think about and talk about interracial dating. Below are some of the things you should keep in mind when it comes to interracial relationships. And all right, here's point number 1. It's not just black or white, or straight. It's saying it's not just black or white. All right. Now I'll read what she says, but with this, she says, so much of the discourse surrounding interracial relationships seems to center on black and white couples.
That's true.
Yeah.
These are the images we see most in media. White men with black women, or black men with white women. But we should bear in mind that there are all kinds of couplings in the interracial dating world that aren't acknowledged nearly as much, and that interracial can mean a black woman with an Asian man.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
Oh, yes.
I
seen
know
it?
of
That was a
some
goal of
Blasian
mine.
babies. I know of the
Blasian?
product
Yeah.
of
Blasian.
that couple, but I haven't seen.
Blasian, wow.
Yeah.
You've never.
I never heard
Never
that.
heard that
Never
term?
heard
Have you heard
that
that
term.
term?
See?
Never.
I never
Where
heard
are
that.
you guys?
No,
Like,
I've never heard the term. I've seen a couple like that.
Yeah.
I've
You've never heard the term
Blasian.
Blasian?
I hope that
That's-
was an offensive guy.
That's
Right,
no.
I hope so. too, 'cause
But yeah, I'm familiar.
But
I
it's
thought
a
it was
word.
cute.
Yeah, I think it's cute.
That actually sounds
But yeah, I've never seen the couple with my own two eyes, but I've seen the product.
Yeah, the products.
Yeah.
I know.
The Blasian product.
Well, I've seen it be pushed. Like I think I mentioned this on another show, the Proud Family.
Oh,
They pushed
yeah.
that a lot in the
They do.
sense of Penny. Well, they had her with a black guy like in a couple episodes, but the guy that was like pushed in every episode was this Asian character who was engaged to be married with someone else, but he loved Penny.
Mm.
And like she like fought with the parents until they were like, fine, just date her, get out of my face and date her. Like,
Yeah.
But
Wow.
As far as Asians and interracial couples, I've only seen them with white people.
okay.
Sure.
Like I said, I've seen the product, but in terms of just seeing the couple, I've only seen Asian and white people.
So we said the product, you mean the baby?
I do
Yeah,
mean the baby.
baby.
We're not selling cars here, dear. I said the product.
The
Okay.
product of the relationship.
Right. I see. So sometimes interracial couples may not even look like interracial couples.
True.
Well, that's true. That is
All
very
right?
true.
Because again, if you saw him with a white woman, in some black eyes,
Yeah, they'd be.
they'd be both
and,
white.
and I'm still,
And he has
I'm
this
still a
ginger
little
beard
bit,
or something.
Yes.
He has some red hair.
I'm still a little bit darker for my family.
For your family.
My mom's side of the family is actually very light skinned. They have Asian eyes. If I
You're
actually,
darker?
They have Asian eyes.
I'm the
I
darker
didn't wanna
one.
say
Yeah, I'm the darker. I'm not. My baby sister's the darkest one in our family, but I'm like on the darker half of our
Wow.
family. My older brother has like his eyes are a little bit more Asian. He has very curly hair. My mom like light skin. My mom is light skin.
Really
My
light
cousins have green eyes, light skin, freckles. You know. So yeah, even some of my cousins in Mexico, like you know, some of my girl cousins in Mexico, you would think they're
They're
you
white.
know, they're white. Yeah, that's what you would think.
We all come in
so-
different shades.
That
Yeah, we
is
do.
very true.
So yeah, I mean, like they might be interracial, and
Sure.
you know, maybe it's just a light skinned
Right.
Mexican
Or a
with
dark
a
one.
white-
I've seen
Right.
some Dominicans
Afro
are
Mexicans.
pretty dark.
Dominicans.
Yeah,
They are.
Dominicans, some Puerto Ricans are.
Yes,
I know
some
a few
are.
Yes.
Puerto Ricans.
Yeah,
Yes.
my high school Puerto Rican teacher wanted me to marry her son. She
Wow.
like swore it up and down. You're gonna marry my son.
Well, I lived in Humble Park. So,
Oh, okay.
Okay, and it's mostly I think Puerto Rican over there.
Yeah.
And they have their parades
Mm-hmm.
all week. All right, and they have their fest in the park. I went in the park and there were two darker than me people standing there. So I'm thinking it's just the three of us here. I can go there and mingle with them. I was like, man, dude, man. I was like, man, what, you live over here? Man, these Puerto Ricans, they really know how to dance. And they both said, huh? See, we know,
Yeah.
we know when this. I'm like, are you kidding me? And they were darker than me.
Yep.
And then I realized, okay, I see.
Mhm.
They're Puerto Ricans. It brings point to what he's saying.
Yeah, we
That-
all really do. come in
That
different
that
shades.
happened to me the other time, but
Did
the
it?
other way around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was when I first got to Chicago. I joined the soccer team, and I was at the park playing, and there was this. It was a black guy. He had his son. His son did. He looked, you know, black, just like if he was, you know, African American, you know, but. When he spoke to me in perfect Spanish.
Wow.
And there was this Hispanic guy next to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's my dad." In Spanish, they're like, "Oh, I'm from Mexico. I'm from like Guadalajara, Mexico." And And I was like, it just took me. I was like, what? Yeah, that's my son. He only
Wow.
speaks Spanish too. And I was like, wow. I
That's
was like,
something?
I love that though.
Me too.
I love seeing
me too.
yeah.
I don't have a problem with some of y'all dipping in mama's soup and stuff like that. I have no problem with that.
Which honestly, I don't know if he was like descendant black because
Sure.
it isn't common, but there is like
Mhm.
black Mexicans.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it isn't common. I know
Sure.
very few, but
Sure.
there is.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of times in history, when I was coming up and reading the history books on slavery, what have you, I was surprised to see how many black people live all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that so when I went to Canada, I saw all these black people up there, and they didn't talk like me.
Mm-hmm.
They were Canadian. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
talk Canadian because many of their ancestors wasn't part of the slave trade in America.
Wars.
They were, yeah, see what I'm saying? They were born and raised there. That's what their upbringing was, and they're like, we don't know about America. This is my black people from here. I didn't know. I just assumed that all white folks went to Africa. That's where where black people only were in Africa. Yeah, that we have to be careful of. So number one is it's not just about black or white.
Is that a thing?
Oh,
Is that a thing?
yes.
You just said
Oh
it.
wait, you mean like in terms of like fulfilling
It
a
was-
fantasy?
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh, I
that
thought
with
there
them.
was. I thought you putting out there like
Oh.
supposedly like this blended sex is better.
Well, that too.
Or-
Well, yeah, that
They,
too.
like one of the questions I pulled was why they dip.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then that speaks to the fantasy, I
Yeah.
guess.
What do
Um,
white women and white men? Well,
That's about the
about
the size.
about black
Yeah,
men.
I know where
They
you're
are-
going with
So
that.
the white women are like yes, and the white men are like oh.
Yeah.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh well, no,
Yes.
because if we have this
what?
stereotype of being the freakiest, then
Black men, they think that all black men.
Well,
have
it's
a
the
large-
same thing when
Yeah.
they think black women got bigger butts
Yes.
and breasts, so they
True.
like go on that side.
That's true.
yeah.
That's true.
What I
I had a
heard.
white boy tell me I had a big butt before, and I'm like, baby, you don't know, but thank
The
you.
same thing happened
Thank
to
you.
my friend Jamise that was here. She was dating an Asian guy, and he was like, you got such a nice body, you had a big butt, and she was like, me? Like, girl, wait till you meet the rest of my friends. And I was just laughing because I think almost every like mostly white and Asians because they tend to have like the least curvaceous women, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So if like black women are like the ultimate goal of curvaceousness to a lot of other races.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What I've heard from a lot of friends who are not Hispanic is that Hispanic girls are very passionate.
Yes.
I've heard that too.
Yes.
Yeah, they're very passionate.
Oh,
So, I mean,
absolutely. Absolutely. And that has driven a lot of my black friends crazy. About,
Yeah.
About Hispanic women.
Yeah.
And which is why I dated the one because I said, if this
got
is
to
true,
try this
I'm
out.
about to find that out. I'm about to find that out.
but like apart from what we said about black men,
Yeah.
like what are other, because like for example I said Hispanic women are very passionate.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say like some people say that black women are the freakiest or whatever. What do they say about men though, like in different
Oh,
with different
us-
races apart from
The size.
Mhm.
Asians are supposedly small.
Very small.
well
yeah.
And-
no, but outside of that,
Outside
like,
of yeah,
It's
nothing.
nothing. It's always about the
Yeah,
sex.
it's all
Yeah.
about sex. It seems to be all about sex, which is number two. They're saying it's not about the sex. That's why they had to put number two there because it seems like
Yeah.
that's what everybody goes towards
Mm.
is the sex. And it is a shame though that you're attracted to someone because of that, and you don't want to see past that. And again, he keep bringing up a great point he brought up earlier about why don't you get to know about my culture?
Mm-hmm.
If you just know about my history, my culture, where I come from, you would fall in love with the inside of me instead of the outside of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess you can't take that away from a person when they see someone. We're all innately attracted to beauty first, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Talk
and then
about that.
then
Yeah.
once we get to know you, then we like, you stink. You
I
stink.
changed my mind.
I never mind. You're just another bitter black woman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. And,
That comment,
That
that
just really shut down the entire.
That
shut it
comment,
down.
right?
That's dangerous to say.
Yep.
Never say that.
Yep.
Never. You don't ever say bitter black woman.
Oh, really?
Never.
Nah.
That's gonna live. You know say.
Even if
For
it's
real.
true, don't
Right,
say
you
it.
don't want to say that.
Woo-wee. Not even on
Or
stage.
bad black.
But
woman.
and that's what it is.
Well,
like on
now
a
I
lot
know.
of those comments, it's, if a black woman says something, the first thing someone said, well, they
You
wanted
just
to
talk
counter.
bad about
Oh
black
my
women. You a
goodness!
mad
I've
black
seen
Mad
so
black
many
woman.
bitter black woman comments.
Yeah, don't ever say it, Hugo. I just saved your life, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'll show you how mad I get.
Right.
Why
Yep,
you
there it is.
stop?
You ain't
See,
seen
you stopped
nothing.
already.
Or something similar. I think you said it earlier. Like, never tell an Hispanic girl that she's screaming. Because
Oh,
she's
my God.
not.
Well, my
It sounds
friend-
like she is, but she's not.
not screaming.
Yeah, my best friend, she's Hispanic,
Wow.
and someone told her that, like, cause we would yell when we were like fake mad at each other, and it would be a competition, and someone was like, "Why are you guys both so hostile? We turned at the same time, and it was like a yelling competition,
man.
the both of us yelling at."
that makes sense. Because when you hear white women, again, I don't know if this is racist or not.
We'll find out.
We've all probably said some
but look
things.
at the